Hello everyone, today we want to have a look at Affricates sound and stop sound. So first let me introduce myself. My name is Elmira as a moderator and last speaker, and my partner Muhammad Hilvan as a first speaker. So Affricates and stop sound is part of consonant. So what is consonant sounds? The consonant or that letter is a non-vocal phoneme, and in other words is realized with abstraction. So the airflow that passes the mouth is inhibited in articulation places. So let's continue with stop sounds. Hilvan, time is yours.
Okay, so I will explain about stop consonants. So they are consonants produced by stopping the flow of air at some point in the vocal tract and suddenly releasing it, causing a slight explosion. They are also called plosive or occlusive. Stops are oppositive or continuous. And also, stop are characterized by involving complete closure in the oral tract, preventing the airflow from exciting through the mouth. Stop consonants are divided into the following categories. The first one is bilabial stop. The example is b, b. I can pronounce it perfectly, but something like that. And number two is alveolar stops. T, d, something like that. Number three is velar stops. K, g. Number five is post-alveolar stops. Is I don't know how to pronounce it. You can check it on another video on YouTube. And the last one is nasal consonant. As you can see on the PowerPoint, also a type of a consonant. Stop of a consonant, I mean. Lastly, I will explain about articulation of stop. So, there are three stages that can be distinguished in the articulation of stop consonant. The first one is catch stopping. The air passage or way or channel completely closed so that no air escapes through the mouth. That is why they are called stop. Number two, occlusion or holding. The air passage stay close building pressure. That is why they are called occlusive. Number three is release or burst. The complete closure is open, suddenly releasing the pressured air, causing an audible sounds like explosion. That is why they are called plosive. I think that's enough for me. Sorry if I had explained it not perfectly. So thank you. Back to Elmira.
Thank you, Hilvan. So, I will explain about affricate sounds. In English, there are two affricate sounds, or sometimes affricates. Affricates are also called semi-plosive, and that is because they start with a plosive. We have ch and ch. The first sound ch is unvoiced, and the second one j is voices. Let's have a look at that. So how are affricates formed? Now when you have a look at the phonemic transcript, you can see that ch and ch consist both of two individual sounds. We have a plosive first ch and ch and ch, and the second sound is a fricative sh and z. So the first sound is a plosive Remember, sometimes there are cold stops. The second sound is fricative, and now we put them together, ch and s, to from ch, and and ch and z to form ch, ch. Now how is ch really formed? So I'll repeat. First we have the unvoiced plosive ch, and remember ch is formed by putting the tip of your tongue on the alveolar ridge that is just behind your teeth. We have a closer there that is suddenly released, and so the air comes out and we can hear it. We can hear this mini explosion. The second sound is fricative, is sh. You have to elevate your tongue a little bit just behind that alveolar ridge. The tongue comes close to the palate, but there's no full closure. What we can hear is the air friction, and now we're going to put both or those together. So ch and s together is ch, ch. So we also call this an unvoiced alveolar palatal affricate sound. So let's have a look at some example words like child, chicken, catch, match. So all of those words contain this sound, and the typical spelling is CH or TCH. And here are some more examples like picture, future, nature, feature, creature. Here the spelling is only T, but again that letter is pronounced as ch. Now what about the other affricate? We also have a voiced version, and it's actually very similar the way they form. The only difference really is we use our vocal cord. So we have the plosive D, it's formed in the same way as T, but you need to use your vocal cords to make the sound voice D. Again, there's closer, the tip of the tongue is just behind your teeth and is suddenly released to form the sound. Remember, you can always do the check with your hand. Vocal cords are an action. This is a voice sound. And then we have the fricative z. Again, it's very similar the way we form it to sh. The only difference really is that you use your vocal cords. So the and z together become ch. Now here you have to put a little bit more effort in compared to ch, because you use your vocal cords, so D and Z together ch. Now the sound is a voice alveolar palatal affricate sound. Let's have a look at the same words containing the sound, for example, like chum, choose, chess, July, major, enjoy. So a lot of very common words, and you can see that here all of them have the same spelling for the sound ch. The spelling is the letter G. This is the first spelling pattern. We could just have the letter G representing the sound ch, but there are some more spelling patterns. Let's have a look at some more example with ch. For example, like age, large, magic, generous, Germany, teenager. Here all of the word also same a G sound, and that G is represented by the letter G. So first we had J and now we have G, and both of those have a J sound, but there are some more patterns. Let's have a look at some more words. Here we have bridge, judge, gadget, lodger, knowledge. So another typical spelling is the spelling pattern DG, and that is not all. Let's have a look at the last set of words. We also have the word soldier, adjective, adjust, education, graduate. So other spelling patterns could be D or DJ, or also D plus U. Now education can also be pronounced education, but very often when we speak fast it actually becomes a G, education. There are of course some minimal pairs as well as always ch or j. Remember, minimal pairs are pairs of words where all the sounds are exactly the same apart from one sound in the same position. And so that means we have to be very careful, because if we get the sound wrong, we actually say another word with a different meaning in English. So let's have a look at a couple of minimal pairs of ch and j. We have first up like rich, ridge, sip,
cheap,
jeep, cherry, Jerry. Now Jerry is a name, that's why it has capital G. And last H, then the name of the letter H and age. So that's all from us.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.